Today, I'll be talking with you about two legends of the game, Brian Lara from West Indies and Sachin Tendulkar from India. Both of them played in the same era between 1990 to around 2010. And in this period, both of them were considered as the best batsmen of the world. There always used to be a debate regarding who was the better and who was the best batsman of that era. So I'll be doing an analysis of their overall career, and on the basis of that, then I will come to a conclusion regarding if any of them is better than the other and who was the best batsman. So first of all, we will have a look at the one-day international career of both the batsmen. I will show you the stats of both these batsmen. You can see on the screen. As you can see on the screen, in case of Brian Lara, he played total 291 matches in one-day internationals, scoring 10,405 runs with 19 centuries and 63 half centuries. And he had a batting average of 40.5 and strike rate of 79.5. And in comparison to that, if we see the ODI career of Sachin Tendulkar, he played a lot of more matches than Brian Lara. He played 463 matches. And of course, as he played more matches, his amount of runs were also more. Tendulkar scored 18,426 runs with 49 centuries and 96 half centuries. And his average was 44.8 and strike rate was 86.2. So as we can see that Sachin Tendulkar, even though he played more matches than Lara, but he was able to maintain his average and also the strike rate. Because usually if you play for a longer period of time, it becomes more difficult to maintain a high average and a strike rate. But still, if we see that Tendulkar averages more than Lara, the difference is almost of 4. And also the strike rate of Tendulkar was higher. And you also have to consider a fact that Tendulkar in the initial part of his career, when he made his debut, then for almost first 4 and 5 years of his career, and for almost his first 120 ODIs, he batted at batting position of number 5. And during this tenure, he didn't score any century. But then he was promoted to open the innings for the first time. And then he made that opening position his own. And after that, his career in one day flew off. His average also became higher and he started scoring centuries. And ultimately, he retired with total 49 centuries in ODIs. While in case of Lara, if we see, Lara, since the start of his career, had batted at number 3 position for most of the time. And sometimes he also opened the innings. So here also, I would say that if Tendulkar had batted as an opener since the start of his career, maybe his average would have been even greater than this, with even more hundreds. In case of both Lara and Tendulkar, they had a comparatively weaker batting lineup in their teams, in their playing 11. And because of that, there used to be greater responsibility on their shoulders to carry their team through. And both of them did quite well. But the stats show that Tendulkar was obviously ahead of Lara in the ODI format. Both the averages and the strike rate shows that, and also the period for which Tendulkar maintained that, along with a greater number of centuries and half centuries. Now here in ODI format, one interesting thing to talk about is that many of the people, especially from the current era, they feel that Tendulkar was a bit of a selfish player and he used to play for the records. Now I would also like to talk a bit about that. I think Tendulkar was never a selfish player. He was always a team player and he always played according to the situation of the game. I have seen him play since the start of his career. That was the time when I started watching cricket myself. I was in school when Tendulkar made his debut. And whatever I have seen of him, I can assure you that he always played for the team and he always played according to the situation of the game. His game was such that he he used to bat fast in the first 15 overs, and he would usually complete his half century in the first 15 overs in an ODI. And after that, he used to bat in a more stable manner, taking singles, doubles, and occasional boundaries. And whenever he used to reach 80, 85 runs, then he used to become more cautious till he reached his century. And most of the times, I would say, in fact, every time he reached his century before 40th over of an innings in an ODI. And after that, he would accelerate more and go for a big 100. So that was his approach of the game. And never have I seen him bat slowly in an ODI and a team lose because of his slow batting or because of his low strike rate. I think in his entire career, maybe there was just one instance when you can say that he was playing for himself when he was scoring his last ODI century. Because at that time, he was stuck on 99 international hundreds for a long time. And everyone, all the Indians were waiting for his that milestone of century of centuries. So that was a match against Bangladesh, I remember. And in that match, India scored around 290 runs in batting first, and India ultimately lost that match. So maybe in that match, you can say that he batted a bit slow and he should have played faster, and then India would have won. But other than that, I would say that he always played according to the situation of the game. And he was a smart cricketer. If there is a century for the taking, why not take it? I would say he was an ambitious cricketer who played for the team and not a selfish cricketer. So overall, considering all these facts, along with the comparison of their ODI stats, I would say Tendulkar was clearly the better ODI batsman than Lara. I would say it was sort of a 55-45 case. I would give 55% weightage to Sachin Tendulkar and 45 to Lara. And now we will see the records of both these players in the test match format. If Lara was the better test match player or Tendulkar was the better, or they were equals. So let's have a look at their test match stats. Now, these are the test match stats of both these players. In case of Brian Lara, Lara played total 131 test matches, scoring 11,953 runs with 34 hundreds and 48 fifties, and he averaged around 52.9 with 7 double centuries and 2 triple centuries also, along with those 7 double centuries. So you can say that he had a total 9 scores above 200, and he had 3 really big scores in his career: a score of 277, 375, and 400 net out. And that 400 net out is still a world record of the highest test score in an innings. And now if we see the stats of Tendulkar, Tendulkar played 200 test matches. Quite clearly, he played much more test matches than Lara. And that's why he also scored more runs, 15,921 runs with 51 hundreds and 68 fifties. And he retired with a test average of 53.8. He scored total 6 double centuries, and he didn't score any triple century, and his highest score was 248 net out. So looking at their test stats, again, we can see that Tendulkar played more test matches, and it is slightly more difficult to maintain a high average for a long period of time. But still, Tendulkar managed to retire with a slightly higher average compared to Lara. Although the difference is not much, it is around 1 only between 52.9 and 53.8. And in that era, many of the people felt that Lara was a more impactful player in test match cricket. He was a more destructive player, and that's why he was a bigger match winner than Tendulkar in test match cricket. And this is evident by the number of big scores which Lara have. As you can see, although he played less matches and he scored less centuries than Tendulkar, but he still had more double hundreds than Tendulkar. He had 7 double centuries while Tendulkar had 6. And along with that 7 double centuries, Lara also had 2 triple centuries. And Tendulkar didn't have any triple century in his long career. So that somewhere shows that Lara was more of an impactful player in a test match, and he had the ability to change a test match and win a test match on his own. But does these big scores by Lara indicate that he was also a better test match batsman than Tendulkar? Here, I would like to point out an interesting observation to you about their averages. Now, if Lara was more impactful and he used to score more big centuries compared to Tendulkar, then why did he end up with a lower batting average than Tendulkar? That is something to wonder about. Also, you have to take into consideration one more important factor, one more interesting fact, that Lara retired from Test match cricket at the age of 37, while Tendulkar retired from ODI at the age of 38, and he retired from Test match cricket from the age of 40 years. He was almost 40 when he retired. So you can say that Lara retired from international career and from Test match cricket at a perfect time. He was almost at his peak at that moment. He was playing well and he could have continued for another few years, but he timed his retirement perfectly well. While in case of Tendulkar, I think Tendulkar miscalculated his retirement. When he scored his 100th century in ODI, he was 38 years old at that time, and after that, he declared his retirement from ODI. And ideally, he should have also declared his retirement from Test cricket. He should have completely retired from international cricket at that time. He had already achieved that milestone of 100 centuries. But due to his passion of the game, he decided to stick around and play for another 2 years. And in those 2 years, in his last 2 years of Test career, he was not successful. Those were 2 worst years of his career. Now, if Tendulkar had also retired at a perfect time, just like Lara, then Tendulkar would have retired with a test average of around 57. He was averaging around 57 at that time. But in the last 23 matches which he played, Tendulkar could score at an average of only about 32.34, and he didn't score any century. And in the last 12 test matches which Tendulkar played, he scored those runs with a batting average of only 26.5 with no century. So you can say that last 2 years of his career, the failure which he had in the test match cricket, that also led to his downfall in the overall test average, which could have been around 56, 57, but ultimately he retired with a test average of only 53.8, which was still higher than Lara's average. So somewhere it shows that if we see their overall career, that maybe Tendulkar was more consistent compared to Lara. Lara was more flamboyant than Tendulkar, maybe more destructive, but Tendulkar was more of a consistent batsman, more of a run machine compared to Lara. Here, I would also like to give you a sample example of how both of them used to score in a test match series, because I have seen both of these players bat and their performance. Suppose both of them had a 5 match test series, and in that test series, both had 10 innings to them. So, how would their scores look like? The way they used to play, I will show it to you on a screen. Going by their averages, you can assume that in a 5 match test series with 10 test innings, both of them would score around 500 runs. Maybe Tendulkar would score a bit higher than 500, considering he retired with a better average. And also, he had a very poor last 2 years. So if you can say Lara would score around 480 runs in that 5 match series, maybe Tendulkar would score 520 runs. So how would their scores look like? You see, in case of Lara, he would have one really big score, maybe a double century, and then you can expect one of the 2 innings as 2 good 50s, And plus, in the remaining 7 innings, Lara was not really consistent. He used to fail. Like he might have scores of, as you can see on the screen, 5, 10, 20, 35, 15, 12, 18. But if you see the case of Tendulkar, though didn't make big hundreds or big double centuries or triple century, but in a 5 match series, you can assume that he would score 2 centuries and 250s. And now, if you compare 2 centuries of Tendulkar with one double century of Lara, I would say that suppose a player is scoring 250 runs in one of the innings and scoring only 10 runs in another match, in the second test match. And that was the case with Lara. But in case of Tendulkar, suppose he was scoring 130 runs in the first test, then 120 runs in the second test match. So runs of Tendulkar were more evenly distributed. And because of that, Tendulkar used to contribute in almost every test match. For me, it is always better to have 2 centuries in 2 test matches than one double century in one test match and a failure in the next match. I would say two centuries for me gives you more impact in the series. Plus, Tendulkar in that series would also give you more consistent scores other than 50s, like you can say 10, 40, 30, 35, 22, 45. So overall, I would say that Lara had more impact on a test match. He was more of a match winner in a test match. But if you talk about the whole series, then Tendulkar used to have more impact on the complete series. Tendulkar was the player who would help you win the series, while Lara was the player who would help you win a test match. So I would sum it that way. So now again, looking at their stats, even though Lara had more of big double centuries, triple centuries, and bigger scores than Tendulkar, but Tendulkar was more consistent in his run making than Lara. His runs used to be more evenly distributed in a test series and in his overall career. So because of that, he had more of an impact on the game. And I would say that in the long run, I would consider Tendulkar slightly better than Lara, even in the test match cricket. In the ODI, I had said that it was 55-45 in favor of Tendulkar, but even in test match, because of the consistency of Tendulkar over Lara, I would say it is 51-49 in favor of Tendulkar. So I would consider Tendulkar as a slightly better test match batsman also compared to Lara. Lara was the type of batsman who would flash brilliance in one of the innings and then get complacent and fail in other innings. Lara would score really well in pressure situations, while Tendulkar used to score like a run machine in almost every innings. And he was a more consistent batsman. He was a batsman who would never get complacent. Here, I would also like to talk about one more thing that some people felt that in case of Lara, the other batsmen in his team were not contributing much, and there was more pressure on him to perform. But here I would say that if other batsmen of your team are not performing well, then in a test match, I won't consider it as a liability or a burden. I would say that it is more of an opportunity to score more runs because you are the player upon whom the team is dependent upon. So you have a chance to bat at your own pace and always score big runs, maybe 70, 80 in each of the test innings. In case of Lara, I felt that if he had made slight adjustments in his temperament and his game and in his flamboyant nature, then Lara was the player with so much of talent and so much of cricketing shots he had, then he should have certainly retired with an average of 60 plus in test match cricket. But he didn't retire with a really high average. So that shows that there was some problem with his temperament and he used to get complacent. So that's why, as per my analysis, Tendulkar was the better batsman between these two. And both of them were legends of the game. Friends, that was my analysis between these two legends of the game. Do share your views. Okay, friends.